Rox D. Xebec is becoming more and more relevant to the story. Even though he remains the most mysterious character since we've only seen his silhouette, there are some hidden details in past arcs that foreshadow Xebec's past. The hints lead us back to an arc that happened 1,000 chapters ago. Drum Island. As we all know, Hiriluk was miraculously cured of a deadly disease by a mountain covered with beautiful cherry blossoms. I believe this event took place 38 years ago on God Valley, and there's even a chance that Hiriluk was part of Rox's crew. Take this character for example. Who is he? His name was never mentioned, and Oda never draws characters randomly. Every other side character from Rox's crew, like Gloriosa, Stussy, and Captain John, serve a purpose. Stussy appeared at Egghead, Captain John has a hidden treasure that Buggy is searching for, and Gloriosa is a former empress of the Kuya pirates. Anyway, this miracle happened in a faraway land in the west. Chapter 1095 confirmed that God Valley was in the West Blue. This event was also not physical in nature. The emotions triggered by witnessing that miracle caused a change in Hiriluk's body, curing him of his illness. Oda has returned to that theme several times throughout the story. According to a physicist named Willie Caron, anything one can imagine is possible. You can evolve your body through sheer imagination. According to Vegapunk, who is based on the most famous physicist in real life, devil fruit abilities are one application of this concept. Ever wonder about the dozens of weird abilities that certain people in this world seem to have, even without eating a devil fruit, like Django and Miss Golden Week? This is likely how they gain their abilities, which others can then inherit by eating a devil fruit after their deaths. This is how Papagu became a talking starfish, something Chopper needed to eat a devil fruit for, minus the additional transformations. Interestingly, it was revealed that 5 years before the time skip, and 7 years before the current timeline, Hiriluk had already been researching this miracle cure for 30 years. That means his research started 37 years ago, just 1 year after God Valley disappeared 38 years ago. So, we know he was cured in a faraway land in the west by a powerful emotion triggered by the cherry blossoms, and he began his research on this cure 1 year after God Valley, an island in the West Blue, was erased from existence. But why did he want to replicate this miracle cure in the first place? Judging from his reaction and the look on his face, Hiriluk likely couldn't or didn't want to return to the place where the original event occurred. Kureha also confirms that he was the notorious robber from the story he told Chopper earlier. To summarize, Hiriluk was cured on an island in the West Blue, the same sea where God Valley used to be, and he started researching how to replicate this miracle 1 year after God Valley was wiped off the map when Rox attacked the island. We also know that he used to be a notorious thief and that Rox originally came together to pull off a big score. But what was Hiriluk even trying to cure through his research? He was trying to cure the hearts of the people, his very country, which was oppressed by Wapol's reign of terror. But how are blooming cherry blossoms supposed to help with that? They aren't. It's a metaphor for the actual miracle he witnessed. So then what could cherry blossoms possibly symbolize? Well, the story actually tells us directly at the end of the very same arc. They represent the former Drum Kingdom's liberation from Wapol's reign of terror, thanks to the Straw Hats. In other words, revolution. Dragon and the revolutionaries are introduced in a chapter called Skull and Cherry Blossoms during a flashback that happens at the same time as Hiriluk's, with Wapol arrogantly claiming that none of this has to do with his kingdom, which would never succumb to some 2-bit revolutionary. It's super clear that cherry blossoms represent liberation or revolution. Hiriluk witnessed an act of liberation that he believed cleansed his very soul. So what could this event be, and what exactly did Hiriluk see? We'll get back to that later. Hiriluk has one of the most famous quotes in all of anime. People die when they are forgotten. This is perfectly echoed when Roger tells Rayleigh he won't die because his name and will shall live on. I believe the same goes for Xebec. His will lives on somehow, and his presence will be felt as we enter the endgame. Much of what we know about Xebec comes from chapter 957, Ultimate. In that chapter, Sengoku tells us about the Rox pirates, their violent nature, their plan to make one big score, and ultimately their downfall on God Valley. According to Sengoku, Xebec has been effectively erased from history, remembered only by a few. But with Loki and other characters like Kaido bringing Xebec up, I believe he might not be as dead as we think. Xebec's goal, in Sengoku's words, was to become the king of the world. This idea is also echoed by Loki. Moreover, Xebec was said to be in pursuit of the taboos of the world, though the exact nature of those taboos remains unknown. If Luffy inherited Roger's will, let's look at the man who might have inherited Xebec's. Teach. Among the current emperors, Teach is the one who most resembles Xebec. He rules over Hachinosu, the same island Xebec once ruled. He named his ship the Saber of Xebec. He directly antagonizes the world government. He gathers powerful individuals under his flag, and he collects powerful devil fruits. His obsession with devil fruits is the reason he joined the Whitebeard pirates, and what made him kill Thatch. He even read a book about them. If Hachinosu is where we last saw Teach, let's go back to where we first saw him. It's not actually Jaya, it's Drum Island. And I'm sure he was there looking for a devil fruit. Even though he's evil, he's not the type to destroy an island without reason. He knew there was a devil fruit there that he wanted, and he wasn't the only one. In the Drum flashback, the soldiers were also searching for this devil fruit, a mushroom that grows only on this island and may be effective against all sorts of illnesses. That sounds like a devil fruit to me. Of course, you all guessed it. I'm talking about Chopper's devil fruit. Did Chopper eat Xebec's devil fruit? Well, not everything is that simple, and technically, this is where my theory ends. But one thing is clear: God Valley, Hiruluk, and Chopper's devil fruit are deeply connected in some mysterious way. Even though the idea I'm about to present may sound far-fetched, I still want to share it with you. The main purpose of this video was to highlight this fascinating connection. If you find any details I may have missed, be sure to comment. Now then, Chopper ate the Hito Hito no Mi, a devil fruit that gave him the ability to become human. That sounds simple enough, but something feels off. What kind of human exactly? Other human fruits have confirmed models like Nika, Daibutsu, and Onyudo, yet Chopper's fruit has never had a model revealed. It seems incomplete. When someone asked Oda directly about Chopper's devil fruit, he avoided the question and ran away, which makes it clear that he's hiding something. What if, just like Luffy's devil fruit was renamed, Chopper's fruit was also renamed, or its true nature was hidden by the world government? It's important to remember that pirates often see the Marines the same way the Marines see them, with deep fear. What we've been told by official sources in the story isn't always trustworthy. Maybe, just like Hiruluk was viewed as a terrorist by the citizens of Drum, Rox D. Xebec wasn't actually evil. Maybe he had good intentions that were misunderstood by the world. Did the Rox pirates truly terrorize the world? Did they actually kill each other within the crew? Is fighting always a bad thing? In One Piece, nothing is ever purely black and white. Even the Blackbeard pirates were seen as a blessing by some people on Drum Island. So maybe, just maybe, the title of King of the World didn't mean what we think it did. Just like Luffy defines Pirate King as the freest man on the sea, maybe Rox D. Xebec saw the King of the World as someone who could save it. Someone who could change it. Right now, the kings of the world are the Gorosei and Imu, and we know that they're immortal. That immortality most likely comes from Imu's power, and it's very likely that Imu is also connected to the creation of devil fruits. Perhaps Xebec was trying to unlock the mystery of devil fruits and immortality, something considered a taboo. In fact, many of the world's taboo subjects may be tied to devil fruits themselves. When the Rox pirates arrived at God Valley, Whitebeard said they should first check if the thing they were searching for was really there. This means they went to God Valley for a specific purpose, not just to fight the celestial dragons or participate in any hunting game. Based on how things unfolded, it's very likely that the object of their search was actually there. When you put all of this together, a shocking idea starts to take shape. What if Rox D. Xebec discovered the secret of devil fruits and immortality? What if, instead of surrendering to the Marines, he did something no one else has done? He became a devil fruit himself. Specifically, the Hito Hito no Mi model Rox D. Xebec. This might explain why, after the Rox pirates disbanded, they didn't form their own crews right away. They were looking for that specific devil fruit. And this could be the very reason why Blackbeard went to Drum Island, because he was looking for it. It's not surprising that Teach knew some hidden information. I know this sounds insane, but I genuinely believe that God Valley, and especially Rox D. Xebec, will unlock many of the deepest secrets of One Piece. I also think he'll give us a huge hint about the true nature of devil fruits, what other taboos exist in this world. The things that come to mind are devil fruits, magic, which might be connected to Imu, and immortality, along with the very existence of Imu as the king of the world. I don't believe that Xebec knew Imu was alive and ruling from the shadows, because if he did, the rest of his crew would likely have known as well. So I keep returning to devil fruits as the core of the mystery. Does this mean that Chopper is literally rocks? Of course not. Just like Sengoku is still Sengoku even though he ate a Hito Hito no Mi, but I do believe that rocks might have some influence on Chopper, at least in terms of his nature as a human being. Maybe that explains why Chopper is so drawn to medicine and healing. We know that Hito Hito no Mi can have different models. There's Nika, Onyudo, and Daibutsu, Sengoku's model. And Sengoku, as it turns out, is the very person who gave us the information about rocks in the first place. This could be building up to a major reversal of fate. The man who once dreamed of becoming king of the world is now a mascot with a bounty of 100 berries. A wild and ironic destiny. Let's go back to Blackbeard for a moment. He might still be after Chopper. In chapter 650, Chopper wonders aloud whether he's in danger. If his devil fruit truly is special, then yes, Blackbeard might pursue him. Maybe that's what the X on Chopper's hat really stands for. A treasure. Or perhaps Xebec. But why Chopper? Why Drum Kingdom? I believe that Drum Island is the true home of the Will of D. Besides the name starting with D, it's the place where the mystery of the D clan first begins to unfold. Blackbeard made his first appearance there as a silhouette in chapter 133, during the attack on Drum. Then, just 21 chapters later, in chapter 154, Ace shows up hunting Blackbeard. In that very same chapter, Kureha mentions Goldie Roger and even clarifies his real name, not Gold, but Goldie Roger. There's also the first time the Will of D is directly brought up, a concept that has appeared repeatedly since then. Even Dragon gets a brief mention in chapter 142, where someone says he'll become a dangerous man soon. So in a very short span of chapters, we get hints or direct appearances of Blackbeard, Ace, Roger, Dragon, and Luffy. All D's. And I believe that's where Oda first planted the seeds of Rox D. Xebec's storyline. Even though Hiruluk is a tragic figure, I believe he achieved his dream in a way. After eating a devil fruit, Chopper was feared by humans for looking like a monster and rejected by reindeer for being too human. Alone, wounded, and desperate, Chopper was shot by humans who mistook him for a monster. He eventually stumbled upon Dr. Hiruluk's house, where he was taken in and saved. Hiruluk didn't run away. He healed Chopper's wounds and showed him warmth and kindness, things Chopper had never experienced before. Something happened at God Valley that healed Hiruluk's broken heart. He witnessed an act of liberation, perhaps a liberation from life itself. Most likely, Rox D. Xebec caused that change. And in the end, he unknowingly saved Chopper, a creature who may possess the very devil fruit born from Xebec's will. And now, Chopper is becoming a doctor capable of curing any illness. That's it for today. Let me know what you think about this theory in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.